So Cody's like, who's watching the cows? Because Addi and I are gone. So Brady, I have a question for you. What's it like when the corn is high, but the chaos is higher?
It's a lot of things, but it's never boring. This is the Farm Wife Files, life between the rows. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Part 2 of Addi's interview.
Yeah, so exciting.
Very exciting. So, part 1, we left off that episode wanting to get into PTO, vacation time, kind of how that works with your job. Do you feel like you do a good job? Or maybe my first question is, how do you spend that time? And then once you answer that, do you feel like you do a good job, like, not spending it on the farm? Do you see what I'm trying to say there?
Yes.
Like, you actually make a conscious effort to, like, take vacation time for vacation time.
So,
not so we can condition calves or...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're spending it for what it's, like, actually meant for, not for farm time.
Right. So, obviously, in the full
or your
time...
other ventures.
That's what I was going to kind of go with, is, like, in the full-time job of myself is... when I was at the agency, we had PTO. And you maxed out with a certain amount of hours of PTO. And I was maxed out for over a year and a half. And I was never able to spend it. And it was because I could never get away from my work. Like, I was always connected. I was always working 80 hours a week. This was a big
conversation we had a lot.
Right.
When you were in that part of your life.
Well, and like, just like having a conversation of like, should I really take this new role? Should I not? Like, and ultimately, obviously I did.
Yeah.
And I struggled with it, with like emotions of like, I feel like I'm leaving a big part of myself behind and all of that stuff. However, I had PTO. Was I able to use it? Sure, I could use it, but was I really able to? No, because you can't say I'm going to take 8 hours of PTO when you've already worked 50 hours this week. Yeah. So you're really not taking PTO. You're just flexing your hours. And I think that's kind of the difference. Now, in my role currently, they don't have PTO anymore. Okay. They have what they call FTO, which is flex time off. Oh, okay. So you're still responsible for getting your work done and getting it done in a timely manner. And like, ultimately you're responsible for it. Okay. But you can take as much time as you want off. That we have like a policy around it where it's like saying, like, if you have worked here from 1 to 6 months, this is about how much time we expect you to take off in a year. And if you've worked here for 1 to 5 years, this is what we would expect.
Right, like you almost get more perks the longer you've been.
Yes, and so like, it's not like like you are required to take this time off. It's like we would expect someone of this tenure to take X amount of time off. Right. So when I first read that, and I put myself in this category because I've been with the company for over 5 years. I mean, I'm going on 8. And so...
Yeah, I was going to say, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Since I've known you.
Ever since, I started working there right when Cody and I started dating. Actually got hired on February 14th. So that was
That's funny.
Yeah. That was my first day. Anyway, so when I would take PTO when I was at the agency, it wasn't really PTO. And I was very much aware of it being PTO because I already put in the hours. Yeah. And even if I was off of work, I was still getting phone calls. I was still I need you to look at this email right now because I'm having this issue. Or I would have external people call me and say, hey, do you know about this person? Or can you give me some information on this? It was just
never ending.
Yeah. And it was 2 a.m. Hey, the fire department's here because we burned toast in the toaster. And it's just like... It was just a lot, and you
had no line.
No, there was no work-life balance, and and I was very much aware of that, and I kind of created that for myself. Right. But I'm also a very people-pleasing person. Yes. Like, I needed to be there for my people, and I wanted to.
You have a very like hard work ethic where it's like you felt that you were doing less than if you weren't like doing all of it and allowing it to kind of like. Not manipulate, but like invade your personal life.
Yes. Yeah. Now I still feel with that guilty conscience of like, oh, I'm taking time off. I'm not actually devoting it to work. And
Yeah.
like, I really struggle with that still, but I'm getting much better because I like have such a supportive, like, boss right now. And plus like all of my peers
and
are
I've
like,
noticed such a difference.
yeah. And it's like, they're like, nope, you're off. You're off.
Yes.
And like the people that I like do the meetings with, I'm like, hey, I'm taking some time off and, you know, this is what I'm doing. But you have my cell phone that you can call me. And every single one of them are like, no,
We're not calling you.
you're like, the world will not crash and burn. Like,
Yeah.
we will be fine. And which is, it's just the different type of dynamic of work that I'm doing now. Like, I, you know, if the Wi-Fi went down at this building and people need the Wi-Fi to like get into reach, you know, vital information to take care of people, that's different than, oh, a meeting agenda wasn't up to date. Oh, well, like, okay, let's just pivot and let's go with it. Or we don't know what she was talking about. Like, we'll just, you get 30 minutes extra back in your day. Go forth and go conquer. You know, so it's a different type of work. So I'm very much aware of that. But am I still guilty of it? And I feel guilty? Yes. Do I still check my email when I'm technically quote unquote off? Yes.
But honestly, for the little amount of time that you have switched positions, I think you're doing so much better as far as like setting that line and not having so much gray area of letting it invade your personal life.
Well, and my cell phone number isn't necessarily out there anymore. Like, it's obviously out there and I still get phone calls, but it's not, hey, you need to be connected to your phone at all times. Like, I have an individual in service that will like literally call me every single day. And I'm fine with that. If I see a number pop up on my screen, I just know it's him. And if I can't answer it, like, we've had conversations where I'm like, if I don't answer, you leave me a voicemail and I will call you back as soon as I can. And so it is what it is and it's fine. And everyone that knows me knows that if I am starting to talk to someone on the phone and it doesn't seem like, oh, this is kind of weird, like, they know what I'm doing. With the PTO, in a roundabout way, I'm taking more PTO because I don't feel like I'm so much reliant on being needed to be needed, if that makes sense. So I'm able to take a little bit more time. I'm able to look at it in a different way where I can like truly like just relax and do the things that I want. However, how I'm spending my PTO is not necessarily for me. Like, it's always like, I'm taking it off for the podcast, or I'm taking it off because Silk and Slate has an event, or I'm taking it off because I need to run to Omaha because my mom needs something, or, you know, something like that. So have I been able to take PTO for actually personal time off? No. I haven't.
Well, and that's why I was so proud of you when you actually took time to go out and see your friend.
Right.
Because that was time for you, and you do not do that a lot.
No. And, like, obviously I did that. So am I, like, only taking PTO for other work-related things? No.
Now is, like, your, what is it, FTO you said
FTO,
is what it actually
technically,
is? Is that vacation, too? Like, they did, like,
it's
vacation?
all together.
Okay.
Yep. So sick time.
I am just so clueless when because I've just never
and it differs company to company.
Right.
So sometimes you have, like, a sick bank. Sometimes you have a PTO bank. And then sometimes you have, like, another bank of
So
whatever.
yours are all just wrapped up into
it's
that
all
FTO.
We only have one bank of stuff.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and like we've been on trips and we've taken I've obviously had to take PTO for that type of stuff or whatever the case is. So do I take it? Yes, but like 90% of my PTO, FTO, whatever you would want to call it, is mainly for other work related purposes.
Are you happy with that? Are you okay with that? Would you like that time to look more like you're taking time for yourself, or maybe you and Cody actually go on a vacation? Or what are your thoughts on how you take it and if you're happy about it?
I think it goes back and forth. There's certain things that I'm just very much aware of that, like, we have to do it during the day because, you know, that's the only time that XYZ place is open. I know that I'm going to have to take FTO or PTO, whatever you want to call it, for a Silk and Slate event thing because the event is happening during the day and I'm going to just have to deal with it, right? Versus, again, if it was up to me, let me work at this location until 2:00 in the morning just to hammer it down. But let me start at 6 p.m. at night so I don't have to take this PTO. And so sometimes that I struggle with that because I'm like, I'm always feeling like that I have to adapt around others people's schedule. But then I'm like, okay, but if I stay or if I start at 6, like for example, if I would ask you, like, I can't start until 5:30 or I can't start until 6, like, but that's supper time for your kid. I don't have that. I have a schedule or I have a routine. I don't necessarily have like a time schedule.
Well, and see, I think I struggle too because like asking you about, hey, let's find an extra time slot because we're pretty good about like scheduling out in advance for podcast stuff. But like when we need to just fill like a short, just do like have a short time to do some stuff for podcast, I always worry because I'm like, okay, let's do it on the Sunday that you have open. And in my head, I'm like, would you rather take that PTO so then you can have that Sunday open for yourself? Does that make sense?
Yes. I think it also...
Like, I feel bad for taking your weekend because that's, like, the only time that you have. Whereas if you have this PTO or FTO saved up, would you rather take it, like, during the week? Because I don't necessarily look at, like, podcast as work.
No, it's more of a fun thing.
Yeah, and, like, we get to, enjoy each other's company and...
Right. It's a hit or miss because I think it goes back to, okay, what's going on at work right now? And I'm the only one that would know that, right?
Is your busyness going to allow it?
Or is my mind going to allow it?
Yes, there
because
you go.
I want to be 100% like focused in on, podcast related things.
The tasks that you're doing.
Right. Podcast, Silk and Slate, dealing with family, whatever the case is. Like I want to be like fully present and I'm like really trying to be mindful of that. Yep. But if I'm like, okay, I just took today off and I know that like I have this task that I need to get done, I'm not able to focus on everything at 100%. Yeah. And so I would honestly rather do a weekend versus take time off during the week. But again, it's twofold. I have no problem taking off work during, obviously, the work week for my full-time job. If I can plan for it, I think it really just comes down to if I know that I'm going to have to take off and I can obviously like build it into my schedule and move some things around, I'm totally going to do it. But it really doesn't matter if it's like a weekend, if I'm taking off in the weekend or if I'm taking off in the, or I guess if I am doing things on the weekend or taking PTO during the week. But I think I would rather prefer the weekend just because of my anxiety of like needing to fit more things in during the week. But yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like, because we kind of touched on how, your job, the FTO, like it all kind of falls under but I want to break up like quote unquote vacation time just because like we're such good friends and we have done vacations together. Do you wish you did a better job about like you and Cody going on vacations, or even like if you want to do a solo vacation? Or do you feel like you guys just as a couple, you just thrive better doing like how we have done like group vacations? Or?
Yeah. I like it both ways. Here's, for example, Cody doesn't like to travel too much, right? Mm-hmm. So it's more of like, we're going and this is what you're going to do.
Yeah,
and
like he doesn't even really have a say in it.
And that sounds horrible to say, but at the same time, like if he knows that Tyler is going or Peyton, like with Peyton and Aaron and that group, like he can have like some sort of connecting point of like,
yeah,
maybe I can bitch to the other guys. And they also don't want to go type thing.
How silly this is. So
right.
And they're making us do this.
All the things. So I think like with Cody specifically, he would just rather not travel at all. Mm-hmm. I love to travel.
Yeah.
And I have no problem traveling independently. Clearly I fly by myself.
Yeah.
But am I like the type of backpacker to be like, oh, I'm going to go fly to XYZ location and just go with the flow and go see where life... No. Like
you're not going to take a Mexico trip by yourself.
No. And so when it comes to like Cody and I taking a vacation, yeah, it's always nice to be able to like do our own thing. But it's also so nice to like travel with friends because I feel like I just make so many better memories as a friend.
Well, and we've talked about even like date nights.
Yeah.
On other episodes, like when you go with friends versus like going with yourselves. Not that I don't love a good date night with Tyler, but it's just, I feel like sometimes you maybe get more out of it and you have a little bit more fun when you have a group.
Yeah. And like, again, I love spending time with Cody when I can spend time with him, and, you know, vice versa. We talked about love languages, and that's spending quality time is Cody's love language. Mm-hmm. But again, I think I would rather prefer to go with friends on these vacations, especially like with our, like when you, Aaron, and I all travel.
Yeah, I love our little group traveling.
We just have like this like unspoken rule now that it's like, all right, you don't want to go to this, fine, we're going to, you know, this steakhouse instead of, you know, dinner with you guys. And no one takes offense to it, and it's super nice and super low key and chill. I like that, because if Cody and I wanted to spend one-on-one time and it was just us two, and it was only us two going to, you know, whatever event, we would, like, you and Aaron wouldn't care, you know? So
we've traveled together so much, and just like we're at the point of like years that we've known each other. Like, we know each other's quirks. Like, we know when we're planning for a vacation, you and I, we always don't vibe well when we're picking an Airbnb.
Right. Like,
because in our separate friend groups or our families, we're the person that's doing all the booking or the picking. So then when it comes to like, we're doing something together, it's just like, I think giving up that control is hard for either of us.
Well, and it's like, again, going back to like what our needs are. Like, your needs in an Airbnb are not my needs in an Airbnb.
Right.
And it's not like that we fight over it. But again,
we just have different expectations.
Right.
Or wants even. I mean.
And it's not only like the amenities that the Airbnb has, it's sometimes like the price point.
Yeah. Like, I fully will tell you, like, I want to go somewhere and spend money on something nicer than what I live in. And that's just.
Yeah, and then Aaron and I are like, well, I would rather spend the money on an experience and like an activity, and like we don't really care where we. But again, I would rather do that, because if I'm going to go on vacation, I don't want to just sit in an Airbnb. Right. You know, like.
And see, I used to lean more towards that, but now having Taylon, it's just like I'm there more. So it's like.
Literally have to have it accessible and safe for a toddler to be running around. Yeah, and I struggled with that
when we first started traveling, but now it's nice because we just know that about each other, and we can respect that. And, and find a compromise or a common point that we make it work and we have a good time.
Yeah. And I think it's just like navigating all of that. And again, I think Cody and I enjoy traveling with other friends better. Not that Cody and I literally just can't have conversations. Like, we can have some really good conversations alone and do things on our own.
You guys are, and correct me if I'm wrong, but just knowing you guys are such like busy working people that the time you do take off, you would rather take off for the one trip a year where it's the whole friend group. Yeah. Rather than taking that time off and it's just you guys. Like, if you had to prioritize just making one trip a year or whatever the case may be.
And again, going back to Cody hates to travel, it just comes down to, if I only get one vacation with Cody a year, I'm going to do it. That's going to be a vacation that's going to fill my bucket the most. And it's going to be spending time with my friends and friends. I mean, like, the husbands that he has also made friends with, or was friends. And I mean, clearly that's how we met. And, you know, if I'm going to have to prioritize doing a friend trip that I can still spend time with my husband, but yet still spend time with some of my like really good friends, I'm going to do that versus just spend time with my husband. And that's not a knock on Cody, obviously, but it's just, we both, again, are just such busy bodies that we can't like say we're going to do just one trip.
Well, and going back to, you know, just saying like we've traveled so much, it's nice that, you know, we're able to set aside a day where us girls go do something. We're able to set aside an evening or a day where the guys go do something. And then there may be evenings where Tyler and I and Taylon, we go have supper as a family and you guys go do your own thing. Like, we separated enough where we're still getting that like spouse time and that connection time with our husbands, but we're also able to break it up so it's not like a week of because we're all pretty active people, and so it's like a week. And also with farmers, we don't get that one-on-one time with our husbands all the time, so a week of it is almost overkill. Whereas if we go with the friend group, it's more laid back, we can do other things and have fun.
I would say, and it's just easier to say, like, because I think how we planned our vacations were much different. Like Cody and I didn't even go on a honeymoon by ourselves. Like we
Right.
took Aaron and Peyton
Yeah.
with us. Like we were like, y'all coming with us. And they counted that as their like honeymoon
Yes.
too because of COVID and all of that fun stuff. But it's just so much easier to be like, back then we planned every single day we were going to do this at this time. And now we're just such at a point where it's like, okay, we might plan that one day of a girl's day and we have to kind of, because if it's a massage, we have to obviously have an appointment. So we're going to plan as much as we can. But everything else is like just a free flowing, go with the flow. Let's see where life takes us. And I think I love that about the traveling with our group is like, we just have this like not unspoken because we speak about it. Like we talk about it, we like figure it out. But it's just so nice to just be like, okay, yep, nope, we don't know where we're going to eat. We just know we're eating out this night. Or we know that it's going to be a jam-packed day and we're just going to order takeout. Like we don't know what this takeout's going to be, but we at least have some sort of framework built up around it where that's not always the case with every single travel, especially like if you were planning it for your family or I was planning it for my family or XYZ, like I'm the one that's saying like, we're going to have this to eat and I have to plan it out because no one else will plan it out. And it's nice that like all three of us can kind of take accountability when it comes to the planning because we know the guys aren't.
Yeah. Well, and not just scheduling kind of goes into, you know, like you and Cody's day-to-day life and what that looks like. Do you feel like when Cody gets into that, you know, like quote unquote busy season with harvest or planting where they're running like 18-hour days, you have a really busy schedule anyway, but do you feel like it changes when his schedule amps up? Like, do you feel like you schedule different or no?
No.
Really?
No. I would say yes and no. I take that back.
Yeah. How does it look different, I guess?
I would say yes, it looks different where I know that I can't schedule Cody to go do something, right?
Okay.
Like, I'm not going to go plan a time to run off to, you know, Iowa to go visit my family just for the...
Well, and there's been times where we are all invite you guys over for supper and you're like, I'll be there, don't know about Cody.
Well, and that's just our relationship. Like,
Yes.
I'm not going to, like, not say yes to something that, like, I would want to do just because my husband can't make it. I'm not doing that. Like, I'm still
You guys aren't attached at the hip.
No, and most of the time we're driving separately to places because we're coming from two separate areas. Like, yes, I don't like schedule my schedule differently because of the fact that Cody is in a busy season. I just know like my boundaries of scheduling during those busy seasons. But I'm just going to go off of like if I still am needing to go teach, I'm still teaching. If I have dinner, I'm just going to eat. But again, like you said, I'm going to say yes to me, but I am very unsure about Cody.
Yeah.
And I won't know until 15 minutes prior to me leaving.
Right.
And so.
Or if you ever know.
Oh, exactly. Realistically. And so most of the time, I just kind of do what I want to do. And Cody obviously knows about it. Like, I'll tell him, like, hey, Brady invited us to, supper on Friday night. Do you want to come? And then he's like, well, no, or maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, see what we're doing then.
Right. The thing that just irks my nerves is, like, when he's like, well, I don't know, we'll see. And I was just like, well, when will we see? Because if I need to come back home to pick you up because I'm, teaching, or I'm already in town because I'm doing something for Silk and Slate or whatever, and I have to spend 20 minutes to go grab you, 20 minutes back, that's 40 minutes, and I need to plan that out of my day. And you can't just say, well, I don't know where I'm going to be.
Yeah.
Like, it's either you're going or you're not going. I don't care one way or another.
I just need to know so I can plan myself.
And if I do care, because there are times where I'm like, no, you need to be there, or... Like Taylin's birthday, for example, not that he didn't want to, but it was like, it was a situation. If it was something where I'm like, you need to be there, I will tell him point blank, like, just an FYI, we have XYZ on Friday. Make sure you remember about this because we're going to be leaving at this time. And he might fight me on whatever thing, or, because I'm getting married.
I have plenty of comments about it.
We are leaving at this time on this day for this reason, and this is what we're going to do. And he's like, well, I have this on the farm. Well, okay, but you've known about this for XYZ, or, this is very important and we need to be supportive, or we need to, make an appearance or whatever, depending on what it is, of course.
That leads me into my next question about just like farm crises and like managing that and how Cody manages that. And do you have like a story, or do you have like a specific scenario that you remember where just like having to, you kind of talked about it on the last question that you answered, but just like where Cody can't necessarily give you a time or whatever, so you're scheduling stuff out, and like that 40 minutes that you have to drive places, like you need to know that for your schedule because you are so busy. Has there been a time that something's happened on the farm that has affected you, so it's messed up your schedule?
Oh yeah,
Plenty of times.
More times than I can count. But I've grown. Maybe not for the good of Cody, but no, I mean, he knows, like, I hate being late. So when I first met Cody, I'm like, we're leaving at 5:30, and we really did need to leave at 5:30. And he's rolling in at 5:30. Oh, I need a shower, or I need to do this. Okay, now I'm stressed out because I'm going to be late, and I wasn't planning on being late, or whatever the case is. So I really got hurt and upset by that. And then it turned into, well, if you're going to consistently be late, I'm going to tell you 15 minutes early.
Yep.
Okay, we're leaving at 5, but we really don't need to leave until 5:15. Well, then he caught on to that. And he's like, oh, well, she's telling me 5:15.
So I'll be 15 minutes late.
And so it's always something on the farm. Like, he's finishing something, and I struggle with the internal, like, conflict of, do I just let it happen because I know it's for the farm and I know that he's not going to be able to relax at this place that we're going. So there's that. Now I am at the point where I'm like, we're leaving at 5:30. This is the time we're leaving. I'm not telling you 15 minutes ahead of time. If you're in my car at 5:30 or not, that's on you. If you choose not to be the person to show up to this XYZ thing, that's on you. Are you hurting my feelings by not coming? Maybe, depending on the situation. Like, and so he now is like, okay.
Well, and that kind of led me into my next, or like my follow-up question on that is, maybe you don't bend. Like for me, I would skip out on whatever I have going on personally, or if I have another whatever, so that I can be there for the farm. Whereas maybe you have learned the farm is always going to have an issue and it's always going to need Cody or me. So I've had to set the boundary and have the expectation of, I'm doing this, I can't. Like, I have to.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to the event. Now, if it's like hey, the group is getting together for supper, and it's just at Brady's house, and it's going to be
something low-key.
Meat is going to be ready at 6:30. We'll plan on eating, shortly after. And something comes up and now I have to be there, or, Cody's going to be late and we won't be there until 7. I'm going to be a little bit more flexible on that, and I'll bend a little bit because I'm like, okay, it's okay for us to be a little bit late.
Yeah.
I'm shooting you a text. I'm shooting whoever a text. Cody and I are being late, but please do not wait for us. Like, we'll be there as soon as we can. Point blank, whatever. If it's a wedding ceremony that I need to be there and you're not with me, and if you're not planning.
That's a you problem. Like, I'm not.
And like, if you're going to miss, not that he did miss my cousin's wedding, so I'm just using this as an example, but like, he decides that he is going to be late or something on the farm needs his attention, and he knows that we're leaving at 1:30 in the afternoon to make it whatever time.
Yeah.
He knows and has known for this is our departing time and this is when we need to be there. If you're choosing to stay on the farm and do that and whatever because of lack of planning or a farm emergency part, whatever the case is, I don't care. That's on you. But that's where I think like family farming is so important. Like, it's like, okay, I'm going to say I'm leaving at 1:30 and I would expect this person to pick up his slack. Right. If it's 1:15 and you still need a shower, I would expect someone to be like, no, go.
Well, and that's where the communication comes into play, because I'm always like, you told your dad that you have this scheduled. You told your dad we have my cousin's wedding in Manhattan and we'll be gone for remainder of whatever time.
Right.
So then if something does come about, or, whatever the case may be, then, Matt can take care of it or Cody can take care of it.
Right. And I think it's an internal conflict thing again, because it comes down to like Cody and his dad specifically. It's always like Cody's dad doesn't always know what's going on. And so Cody's mom will just plan these things and like spring it onto Cody's dad, or it appears that way. And so it's like, well, no, we were going to be gone this weekend and you just expected us to take over and do it. And I mean, we're not sharing calendars. So, but you know that we're going to be gone for this XYZ wedding, and this was always the plan. And then it's like, oh no, we're actually going here. So it's like, all right, who's watching the cows?
Yeah.
Like,
complete conflict of interest.
right. Like, and I'm not going to bend. This is my cousin's wedding, or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So for example, like this just came up where Emily, my sister-in-law, had a volleyball game, and it was on a Sunday. And it was in like North Dakota or something along that line. So it was a longer drive.
Yeah.
My cousin's wedding was on a Saturday in Des Moines, and we were coming back on Sunday. Well, Cody's parents wanted to leave on Saturday, so they didn't have to drive up on Sunday.
Okay.
And so Cody's like, who's watching the cows? Because Addi and I are gone.
Yeah.
And so now they're like, well, I guess, I don't know. And it just came down. So I was just like, no, I'm not bending. I am going to my cousin's wedding. And Cody, you can be the bad person if you decide not to show up.
Yeah.
Like, that's on you. That's not on me. I'm making the appearance. If my husband
and he's
doesn't
an
come,
adult too.
Yeah.
Like he can make those decisions.
Yeah.
I mean,
and again, like, he went to the wedding and it all worked out, and his parents just left on Sunday, and it's going to be, you know, whatever. But it's just like, those are the types of situations where I'm like, now I'm grateful that I can be my own human being, and I can be myself, and I can make decisions for myself. And if my husband decides to be a jerk about it, then my husband decides to be a jerk about it. But I'm not going to internalize it like I did. So yes, I have changed for the better, I feel like.
Yeah.
In regards to that. But
and I feel like that just comes with age too.
Yeah.
The older we get, hopefully the easier it gets.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think just to wrap things up, I think with just getting to know me, I think I should spring a getting to know you thing, because you didn't let me plan for any of this. So
that sounds good to me.
I'm going to spring a get to know you, get to know Brady in the next few episodes.
Yeah. I just have one more question and then we can wrap it up.
Okay, cool.
What is some advice that if you could give to your younger self?
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. And then not only make mistakes, but don't be afraid to learn from such mistakes. So
that's good advice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next episode.
Yeah. See you next episode.
They say a farmer's work is never done. Well, neither is ours. Come back next week for a new episode of Life Between the Rows.